Hello, so today I'm going to show you how to make just a basic hat. It's a really nice easy pattern for beginners and more experienced crocheters. I know there's a lady called Sally who has a channel called Nanny Moon's Crochet. Hi Sally. And she finds it difficult to find hat patterns to fit her head. She says herself that she's got a rather large head. I kind of know the feeling. Anyway, so what I'm going to show you today is how you can make a hat out of just a hook. You can use any size hook to go with your yarn. I happen to be using a 5.5mm hook. You're going to need a stitch marker, one my husband has lovingly prepared for me, and you're going to need some yarn. So what I'm doing today, I'm going to use this yarn here. It's in my stash, so I don't know what it's called. I know it's 100% wool, but I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to pair it with, where's it gone? This one here, which I kept the label on, Drops Charisma. This is also 100% wool. So I'm going to use those two together. So I guess that will be like a chunky kind of weight. Which is why I'm using the 5.5, but you can use a DK and use like a 4.5 or a 4mm hook. It doesn't matter. It's entirely what you've got in your stash and make it up as you go along. But essentially the pattern I'm going to show you will work with whatever size hook and whatever size yarn, and it should work pretty much every time. Pretty much. Don't hold me to that. Okay, let's get started. So I've got my two yarns together here, just literally placing them next to each other, and I'm going to do a slip knot. How I do mine, I cross over my fingers, so I make a, a cross like that. I put the hook under and I catch hold of that bit there and pull that through, take the knot off my fingers and pull it, and it slides. Okay, so that's how I do my slip knots. Everyone does them differently, and it doesn't matter how you do it, it's the result at the end of the day that matters. So there you go. Right, a chain. So yarn over and pull through the loop that's on your hook. Yarn over, pull through. Keep doing that until you've got enough chains that it goes around your head. Okay, so literally I'm just going to keep chaining. I'm not even counting. I will, so I can let you know how many I've got. Oops. But yeah, I'm not counting. I'm just going to do a chain that's big enough to go all the way around my head. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to make this as long as necessary for my head. Obviously if you've got a child, you can fit it around their head, or a husband, fit it around their head. I'll say dog, but no, dogs really don't wear hats like that, do they? Nonsense. Right, so just keep going. I'll do that and I'll get back to you. Okay? So got all the way around. There's my chain. And I've ended up with 68 chain, and that's to fit around my head. Literally I've just put it around my head, and not so it's loose, not so it's snug, just so it meets one end to the other. Alright, what I'm going to do now is just run my fingers along the line here from the hook to the other end, and this is where we join one end to the other. Now I usually get this bit twisted, and do you know what? I don't really pay much mind to that. because you can work it out. So I'm going to do a slip knot here, just pull that through, join the two together. And now what I'm going to do is, oh, that's a boat going by, don't worry about that. I am going to do a double crochet, so we're talking UK terms here. I'm not even going to do a chain, I'm just going to go straight in there and do a double crochet. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to do one more, so we're working in the back bumps here. There we do, that's another one. Okay, before I show you what the back bumps are, I'm just going to mark my first stitch like that. Okie dokie. Alright, so if you don't know what the back bumps are, if you have a look on the front of your chain here, that's where all the chains are, and if you flip it over on the back, you've got all these chain links in between. These are the back bumps, and that's what we're going to work through. Okay then, so next back bump, don't forget I'm going through 2 lots of yarn here and do a double crochet. Right, and again, I was trying to catch both bits and through and in the back loop. Best working in the back loops because on the bottom it makes it neater. You see that nice neat chain that you've got on the bottom there. It's one, if you just going to leave your work like that, it's nice and neat and tidy. And 2, if you're going to put a brim on the hat, then it's much easier to work through into these chains when you're doing that. So that's why I like to work in the back bumps. It's neater and tidier and easier to add to. Okay, so I'm literally going to go all the way around the chain, oops, working into these back bumps, or trying to anyway, and I will catch up with you when we get all the way around. Okay, so I've got most of the way around now. There's the stitch marker there, look. Okay, and I'm just going to do the last couple of stitches. Just figure out where I'm going. In you go. There we are. And we've got one more. Let's go in that one there. Why not? Okie dokie then. Alright, so I'm going to, there's my stitch marker, there's the end of my round. I'm going to hold those two together and just ease the rest of it out so I can make sure it's round and it's not twisted at all in any way. As you can see, there's no twists, so I can carry on working on that and that'll be grand. Hopefully, I mean it is kind of a bit twisted there, you can see, but I'm just going to untwist, like twist it back on itself almost, and I'm going to go into, where's that first one, just here. I'm not going to slip stitch, I am going to, if I can, just do a double crochet. So we're going to work in the round. Okay, so that's my first stitch, and I'm going to mark that. You can mark your first stitch, your last stitch, doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you marked something. Alright then, so I've done double crochet into that one, double crochet into the rest. Now, the wonderful thing about this hat design is you can use whatever stitch you like. You can do it in all half trebles, all doubles. Oops, where am I going in there? You can do shell stitch. You can do whatever stitch you like, pretty much. And it'll always work out. Okay, so I am going to keep going with double crochets, I think. Actually, I was thinking I might go with half trebles actually. Let's just undo that one. Doobie doobie doo. Okay, so change my mind. I'm going to do half trebles. I don't know why, I just fancy it. Better not forget to mark that first stitch. There we go. In, out, round about. So yarn over, in through the hole, pull it through, yarn over and through all three. So I'm going to continue with these half trebles, and I'm going to do half trebles all the way around. Once I got back to here, I'm not going to slip stitch or anything like that. I'm literally just going to do a half treble here and just keep going round and round and round until it's the size that you want, by which I mean, like, depending on where you want this around your head, whether you like it over your ears, above your ears, wherever, just make it the height that you would like before we put the crown over the top. Okay, so I'm going to have a go at this. I will come back, let you know how long I've made mine. So probably about yay big, maybe a bit more, something like that. Okay, but I'll come back and I'll let you know where that is. All right, okay. As far as I need to go, how I feel as far as I need to go. What I've done, I put it on my head. It covers the flat part of my head on the side of my head, and then it's up to just where I feel the crown of my head starts. Okay, so just measure it on whoever's head you're making it for, up to where you feel the crown is starting, where the curve of the head is starting, and that's where you need to stop. What we're doing next is the decrease round. We need to decrease so we end up into the middle. So I've got 69 stitches here. When you do a magic ring, you normally do like 6, 7, 8 stitches into the magic ring, and then you increase from there and go on. So we're going to do it backwards. Like I say, I've got 69 stitches, and if I decrease 7 times, that means every 10 stitches I decrease 1. So how that works is you do 8 stitches, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So for every 10 stitches I want 1 decrease, so I've done 8, and then I'm going to do an invisible decrease. So go into the front loop only of the first stitch, front loop only of the second. Oh, I need to yarn over, front loop, yarn over, pull it back out. Okay, and then that's my first decrease. Okay, so now I need to do another 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then I'm going to do another decrease. So yarn over, front loop of the first stitch, front loop of the second stitch, yarn over and pull through. Okay, so that's 2 decreases now. I've got another 5 to do. I'll get round, do the 5 other decreases. That'll be a total of 7. So 10 times 7, 70, close enough to 69 for it to work. Okay, I will get back to you when I've done that. So I'm on the last few stitches of this round. It's the first decrease round that I'm doing. I wanted to show you that it really doesn't matter over much if you haven't quite got the right amount of stitches. I've done 6 so far. This is 7 and 8. Oops. I'll try again. 8, and then I need to decrease. So that's the last stitch of my last round. I moved my marker. Okay, so I'm still going to decrease that one and the next one. So it really doesn't matter if it doesn't work out exactly right. As long as it's only like a few stitches, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's my last stitch there, it's my last decrease stitch, and pop the marker in. Okay, so that one I was doing 8 stitches and then decreasing. This second row I'm going to do 7 stitches and then decrease. Okay, so here we go. Oh goodness. There we go. 1, 2. I've nearly finished this row now, so this is the second decrease row. That's my 6th. Okay, and 7. And then I'm decreasing, so let's take that one out. Okay, pop that one back in. Alrighty now, so the third row then, we're going to do much the same. We've done 8 and then decrease, 7 then decrease, this is going to be 6 and then decrease. And then, as you can imagine, it's going to be 5 decrease, 4 stitches and then decrease, 3 stitches then decrease, 2 and decrease, and then decrease all the way around. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am going to keep going with my decreases down until I've got to the last row. I've done all the way up to I've done 1 stitch and then decrease, so this last round now just going to do decreases. So pick up those 2 front loops, and that's 1, and then if you're not quite sure, this one that's tugging over to the right there is the one that's attached to this stitch here, so just go into the one next to it. I confuse myself sometimes which stitch is which. Right, I confuse myself what I'm actually doing. Hold on a second. Take out the stitch marker for the last time. There we go. And then into that one, into that one, and that's the last stitch. Okay, now because it's actually quite a high stitch, I think what I might do, take that one out, and I'm going to make that into a double crochet instead of a half treble. So let's pick those 2 up again. There. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm just going to finish that off now. Cut the thread and pull that through. Okay, and then we're going to take a needle . There we go. Right then, so what we're going to do is pick up every stitch on the last round. Okay. Oops. Over the top there, so that's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that should do it, and then pull. Actually, we're going to put that through into the inside of the hat, because then when we pull on that, it'll cinch up into the inside. Okay, once you've done that, just put some stitches in just around the top where we've cinched in. Side to side. There we go. Okay. Oh, well, that's fallen out. So I'm just going to snip that off there and call that done. There we go. Okay, so that's the top of the hat there. Nice neat circle. And there's the rest of the hat there. Okay, now you can leave it there. Perfectly good hat, nice beanie. Or we can put a brim on the bottom here where we've got this nice neat chain. I'm going to put a brim on this. I like a brim. Keeps my ears warm. Okay, but if you want, leave it there and it makes a lovely beanie. So as I was saying, I like to have a brim on mine, bit of ribbing, maybe about so high, 5-6 rows up. So that's what I'm going to do now. Ideally, my yarn has finished in the same colour as the base of the hat, which is fantastic. So what I'm going to do is join the yarn anywhere onto the hat. These lovely chain here that we had at the beginning. I'm just going to put my hook through, latch onto that there and pull it through. Okie dokie then. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I fold that up, is that quite high? Not quite enough. Do 7 and 8. Put that up. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so 1 for luck as a turning chain, and let's turn it around. Okay, right. Now, so we've got our 9 chain here into the second chain from the hooks. That's 1, 2. We are going to do a double crochet into I'm not sure actually. Let's do it in the back bump. So that's 1. Oh dear. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. And somewhere there. Almost. Missed one there. 7, and last one, Now this chain is a bit loosey-goosey because it's just attached here, so I'm going to finish the stitch. Fiddlesticks. There we go. And then just tug on that one, see, and it'll cinch that up. Okay, so that was into that stitch there. So into the next stitch over, going to do a slip stitch. And slip stitch again. We're going to turn. And we're going to work back down. Let's leave that. Yeah, let's work that in, shall we? Let's leave it out of the way. I usually like to work my tails in because it just makes life easier, but I'm going to leave that out of the way. Now we're going to work in the back loops only. Okay, so we've got these lovely V here, and we are going to just move that yarn out of the way, go into the back V, and bring it through. So that's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Do one chain and turn. And I'm going to go back into the back loops again, always working into the back loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm doing 8, but you can do as many as you like. You do you, and it'll work. It'll be great. So that's my 8th one. Okay then, so that's into that stitch there. So I'm going to pop over into the next one and slip stitch. That's that one there. Oh, I just went into the front loop there. Crazy me. Right, so into both and do a slip stitch. Into the next chain and another slip stitch. So you're going to do that all the way around, all the way up and down, all the way around the hat, back loop only, down one way, chain one, back up the other way using back loop only, slip stitch into the next stitch on the rim of the hat, and slip stitch again into the next stitch. So that's 2 slip stitches, and then back down your brim again, and that's all the way around the hat. I'll catch up with you when I've done that. Last one. There we go. Okay, so there's one side, there's the other side, and in between the two, yep, I've only got one chain remaining. That one there is going to that stitch, that's going to that one. One in the middle remaining. If you've got 2, that's okay. What you do is you do your slip stitch like I'm doing, slip stitch into the next one, and go back down your row, and then what you do is put the 2 ends together and crochet back up. Alright, but as I've only got 1 chain remaining, well, I'm just going to slip stitch into that chain. That's that row finished, and then I'm going to take, I'm going to put these two edges together, but I want to crochet them in such a way that it stays like this ribbing effect. Okay, so what I would do if I was coming back up this way, I'd go into, hold on a minute, if I was coming up this way, I'd go into the back loop of one side, into the back loop of the opposite side, and then do a double crochet into those. But because I'm going, that's if you're going that way up from bottom upwards. Because I'm not, because I'm going from the middle down, what I'm going to do is go into the front loop as it looks here, and into the front loop on the opposite side, there, pull that through and do a double crochet. So again, front loop of the next stitch, come on, in you go, front loop of the next, of the opposite side, yarn through and double crochet. I'm going to do that all the way down, and this is our final row of the hat. Once we've done this and tidied up our ends, it's ready to wear. Last stitch, front loop and front loop, there we go, there we are, that's your last stitch. So just fasten off, cut the yarn, pull that through, give it a tug, and there we go. And then that looks roughly the same as all the other ribbed stitches. And that there is a hat with a brim. And there you are. I hope you enjoy wearing your hat, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you had, I would really love you to subscribe and like and comment and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all well. Take care. Bye bye.